Change is one of those things that on a very deep, subconscious, superconscious level, we know is a benefit to us. But at an egotistical level, we will fight tooth and nail. We will fight with everything we got. We will fight to the death to stop change from happening. Now, it's understandable. When we are loving something, when we are in love with someone, when we are in a relationship, when we have finally reached a certain stage of success and status and money, the idea of those things changing can be very scary. But when we are suffering, when we are going through a tough time, when we are faced with challenges and difficulties, we are looking for change the most. So, what is that about? Why, in one hand, we fight change, but on the other hand, we want to embrace it and we are begging for it to happen. Change is really important because change, again, is one of those things that will always exist. It is the only thing that remains the same, change. Whereas everything else will always change, evolve, transform. With maybe the only exception is your consciousness. I think that's the only thing that might remain. And I mean purest consciousness possible, that spark that is divine, amazing, and beautiful. That part may stay the same, but even then, I think over the course of time and you experiencing life, your journey, I think it is impacted or influenced somehow. Because I think that's why we're here. We are here to have an experience. We are here to evolve, to expand, to grow. And this is why I think change is such a pivotal aspect of our existence. It is something that is always around, will always be. Because of the change, it is how our consciousness gets to experience infinite possibilities. There used to be an expression that I should say there is an expression that I used to just not really like, and I couldn't stand, to be frank. And the expression is, there's nothing new under the sun. I always thought everything is new under the sun. There's nothing that is the same. Nothing. I mean, even down to the rocks and pebbles and concrete and buildings, nothing is the same. If you get down to its very, atom of everything, there is vibrations. Even in the rock or a stone, there is vibrations happening. There is movement happening deep within those things. And by definition, vibration or frequency is change. And so when it came to that expression, I always thought, no, in fact, it's the total opposite. Everything is new. Everything is new. It may appear to be the same because you are looking at it on a very superficial level. But when you go deeper, even if I decide to do the same thing over and over, it's going to be a little bit different, right? My technique is going to be different. My point of view is going to be different. The weather's going to be different. The wind is going to be different. The environment is going to be different. Who's around me and witnessing it is going to be different. All these little things will eventually create a change. When we talk about change and the significance of it, realize that because your divine essence, your consciousness, is seeking to have experiences. So because your consciousness is looking to have new experiences, to expand and to grow, then I think the element of change is very important because it allows us to realize that nothing will ever stay the same. That means that there is opportunity, more than opportunity. It is so ingrained in the DNA of the universe that it is the only way that we experience things is by understanding that the change will make everything new. Everything is new under the sun because there was always that element of change that is involved in the matrix or the, simulation that we're all experiencing, this thing called life. So you have to realize that change is inevitable. Change is always there. We may not experience it, or we may not acknowledge it or see it because it's very minute and small, but ultimately it's always there. We see it often when it's more drastic, and that's often when we resist the change because we're experiencing something that we love, we're enjoying, but then when it changes, it transforms, we are then attached to it so much by way of our ego that we feel pain, we feel suffering, we feel sadness. But it is important to realize that everything you experience, there is the element of change that's going to occur. Now, when you are experiencing something of beauty that you enjoy, you know how to enhance that enjoyment is to understand and realize that it will change soon. Now, it may not always change for the worse. It may not always change in a way that takes away from your enjoyment. It may increase the enjoyment by the way of its change. But what's really important for you to understand is that when you acknowledge that it is going to change, it actually enhances the joy of it. It enhances the moment of that experience, that thing, that person, that interaction, that engagement, that event. Embracing change will actually allow you to enjoy life in abundance and really be in the moment and be captivated by everything that is happening in your life. Managing the ego and understanding that everything will change. Ego wants to fight against change. When you are in a space where you realize that change is inevitable and change is always going to be there, just like your consciousness, the divine within you, right? Then you understand, hey, change is always going to happen. I'm in the moment right now where I'm enjoying myself. So because I know change is going to happen, I'm going to allow myself to enjoy it even more and then go with the flow and see how this all unfolds, how the experiences changes, right? And then with that, you can change and adapt and grow. And with that, you can also help to increase the enjoyment, the pleasure of the change in itself. This is the beauty of owning those things and really embracing change and allowing yourself to just go with the flow. Go with the flow, because when you go with the flow, you are free of the suffering of attachment to what was, and you are embracing and in the moment of what is. I really, really hope that helps you today, because it is something that I meditated on today, and it's something that I always think about as far as the significance of change and how impactful it is toward fulfillment and happiness and joy. So as you go out through your day, think about all the things that you're enjoying and realize that it can change. It will change in somehow, some way, some form. So embrace your enjoyment in that moment and be present. And as it changes, embrace the change. That way it can change into something that you can easily accept, receive, and love. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.